leave meeting.
Welcome back to another episode of Failure at its Finest Hour. We are now a golf podcast, if you haven't heard. The RBC Heritage was this weekend, and Matt Fitzpatrick took home the dub.
Absolute
Just
fucking
kidding.
great day.
I was listening back to last week's episode when I was not on my setup. Dude, I was pretty fucking loose.
Yeah, you
Holy
were.
shit. But I sounded so interested in what we were talking about. It was really funny listening back. It's such a different vibe when I'm fucking just absolutely hammered compared to
Were you that
I'm
tuned
just
up?
a little loose. Yeah, I mean, we're drinking all day. I mean,
Okay.
it was
Oh yeah, that's right.
that was really funny.
You had,
That was something that I noticed about last week's episode.
yeah, man.
Plus, Oh, sorry.
No,
Sorry,
you're
Anya.
good. You're good, man. I was just gonna say, I don't listen to every single one. I'll get through most of it, and
Yeah.
And then you're like, yeah, this fucking sucks.
no, just something about hearing your own voice and whatever.
Yeah,
It's like
I get
I've
that.
already spoken and heard those words out of my own mouth and your
Mhm.
guys' faces, so I'm just like, all right, let it ride,
Yeah. Sometimes I shouldn't say this for all you producers out there. Sometimes I don't, when I know that there's no edits that need to be made,
Yeah.
or
Just
I just cut the front, cut the back,
send it.
send it. Yep. So I'm
Pro title on.
some days it's Thursday, Friday. I'm like, fuck, I wonder what we talked about. Sometimes I'll forget because
Yeah.
sometimes you get forget things.
Mhm.
So I'll just you know what? I should probably listen to this all the way through, just in case.
Just to see
But-
see what came of it.
Most of the time, it's fine. There's a couple times where you can hear me 3, 2, 1, because I was supposed to cut it, but because the last couple times I've not been good with writing down the timestamps, but we've been
Yeah.
doing a very good job of getting through, in one piece.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard too when you're not at the helm like you were last week.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess too, and then the last episode before that was National Beer Day, which is a ton of fun.
Yeah.
And it did
that
very
was.
well. So if you're still here from that episode, thank you. We've got a gem today. But which, by the way, happy April 18th. If you are in the UP, hopefully you're now recovering from the massive snowstorm that hit us on Sunday night and Monday. No, I shouldn't say that. So, people that aren't from the UP, which you might be downstate, and Aaron, this was your case. You had an 80 degrees, several times
Yeah. It was
throughout the last couple weeks or whatever.
Wednesday or Thursday through yesterday.
And today on this Tuesday, yesterday, Monday was very cold and a little bit of precipitation. But in the UP, on Tanagan, currently, again, we record Sunday nights under a winter storm warning, which is fantastic. They're calling for 6 to 12
April 16th.
inches. Yep, mid-April. And it's funny because not every year, so we've talked about this before with the UP, and that it truly is hit or miss. There's times in winters where it's really not that bad, right? It's maybe a standard downstate. Like the UP will get that, just a very mild winter.
Yep.
So it's not bad all the time, but this also happens when it's mid-fucking April and you get a snowstorm. And it is Sunday. I don't know how bad it's going to get, but it was, predicted to be a winter storm, of course, warning. So we all know warning and watch. I remember seeing a picture. I forgot who shared it.
Yeah.
Some weather guy at the tacos.
Yeah.
I know Molly had trouble with warning and watch. But I always say watch, watch out because it could happen. Warning is that it's going to happen.
Yeah. Warning is imminent.
Right. So I'm really hoping because of course, I'm on vacation this week and it's very depressing because I'm going to see this episode. This is how shitty lives are, right? Sunday, it's currently Sunday, and I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, go back to work Tuesday. So I'm still not even at that weak point where I need to go back to work, but I'm already thinking about how shitty it's going to be to go back to work. I'm not fucking excited for my vacation, which I am excited to go see Nick and Ani down in
Yeah.
Nashville. Nick in Nashville, of course, our famous listener from the call-in. It's a little shout out to him for this episode, but I'm very excited to go down there, but I'm not kidding. It's like I think the thought of going back to work is outweighing me actually being off for the next 12 days.
Yeah. You gotta actually get out of Dodge. You gotta get on the road and
Yeah, right.
make
I
that
guess that's true.
separation. But it's hard. It's hard though to, kind of compartmentalize work and put it in the back of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
No,
And
I
I'm
feel
trying to forget about it. And then, like you said, once I hit the road with Molly and we're cruising and staying with you tomorrow night, Aaron.
Yep.
Maybe we'll do a
Come on.
5-minute subscriber episode. Just kidding.
Yeah.
We'll do a tight 3, tight 2.5 each, and then call it quits.
We could potentially do something. Burn the midnight oil. But I got it. There's a little restaurant that we can go down to and
You leaving tomorrow? When are you leaving?
Yeah, so I'm leaving Monday. Monday morning, I'm heading back to Marquette because I had to come back to Ontonagon. Shout out to the YouTube. You'll notice that my background's a little different. Got the fucking not the Casio, but I don't know what the fuck brand that is. So actually, funny story about this piano. Shout out to my dad. So my dad bought this. We got rid of this grand piano that we had that was super old. Which another side story. They took that piano apart. We had it in our family for a really long time. We had that fucker in Sartell.
Wow.
In Minnesota. And then we built this house in like 2008, brought it with us. My dad and Luke tore it apart on like November 27th, 2019 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And they took it apart, and inside the piano, it had the year it was made.
Mm-hmm.
And get this is crazy. They took it apart. They saw the date inside the piano. It was November 27th, 1919. It was literally 100 years after it was made. They took it apart. My dad was like, "Oh my fucking god!"
Was it to the day? 100
Yes,
years?
it was to the day.
Oh, I didn't know it was to
100
the day.
years. Isn't that fucking wild?
So
he has the.
Remember what the brand was?
No, but he has the. I don't know what it's called, but he has a part that has the date on it.
That's the soundboard. That's what that is.
It's really fucking heavy.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's made out of like cast iron or.
Yep. It has the date on it, and they took it apart that same fucking day. 100 years later.
Dude, that's a good warranty on that bad boy.
Yeah. I mean, it was out of tune, and the fucking pieces were chipped and stuff.
Strings broken, hammers broken. Yeah.
Yeah, and we never tuned it, but
I got a buddy that tunes pianos now, so if you're in Grand Rapids area, hit me up and I can get your piano tuned for you.
But yes, leaving Monday to Marquette, picking Molly up. We're going down to GR, and then leaving to Nashville on Tuesday. Kind of splitting up the drive, which would be nice.
Yeah.
Not only for us, but the car as well.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Should be fun. Probably not a whole lot of riffraff will go on tomorrow night, but
no, I don't expect it. And we'll probably be tired too. Molly will, especially because she has to work. But I golf. I get to golf, which Aaron, I know you were talking about. You golfed this past weekend.
Yep.
It
was a good time. 80 degree. I think Friday. I've had a couple rough weeks of work in a row, and another rough one this week. And I did a lot of yard work in the past week, getting my future house ready and my future backyard ready. And I decided Friday. I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm gonna be working all day Saturday on the yard. So went out, played 9, and scrambled with a buddy and shot 2 over par, as I mentioned, which is awesome. And then the next day I golfed with my other roommate, 18, and it was a disaster.
Stop counting after the 4th hole.
Pretty much.
Like, fuck this.
He was keeping score on his phone, and I was just like, I'm just trying to survive here. But
that'll be me.
It was just 85 degrees, not humid at all. It was awesome. We had a massive warm front that came through, and today it started off at like 70 something in the morning, and now it is like probably 40 degrees out. Just had awesome weather. I fell for it. Maybe not being in the UP for long enough. I was like, oh yeah, here it comes. Here's spring, here's summer. put away some winter clothes, put away, sweatpants and all this other crap. And now here I am wearing sweatpants.
It's like, nope,
Got to pull my
fourth
jacket
winter.
out for tomorrow. Yep.
Fourth
And
winter
they're
is
calling
here.
for snow down here. The high is like 38 and the low is like 31 or something like that. And they're calling for snow, which I'm like, come on.
Yep.
You got
On the
to
day
be
that
kidding
I
me. April
on
down
the day
here.
that I need to fucking go down there too.
Yeah, just a classic. I know Nick. You're getting the Nick look.
Yeah,
Once
I'm
you
going
once
to see
you
them.
once you get to like southern Wisconsin, the snow's gonna be gone.
Yeah, I mean we don't have any snow down here that really stuck. I mean, it said shit's been gone for a while, but
Are you driving? Are you
Still.
driving through Wisconsin or are you driving through
No.
Michigan?
Michigan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
yeah, I
And
guess.
then Indy, and then Kentucky,
Classic.
and
Oh yeah, you said you were stopping at errands.
first time going through those states though, which I haven't. Thinking back, I don't know the last time besides Wisconsin that I've been out of Michigan.
Damn.
To be
Well,
honest.
Indiana is called the Crossroads of America for a reason. You'll learn that when you're going to drive around Indianapolis, and it's just highways, overlapping highways, and
It's fucking
just
not
like
very
all
exciting.
semi trucks.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you get down into Kentucky,
Louisville.
yeah, Louisville's pretty sweet. But I imagine you're not stopping for very long. But
No.
but yeah, it's
We brought
some of
bunch
the
of
worst bathrooms in America in southern Indiana. I will say that every time I've gone to like southern Indiana, Louisville, Kentucky, there's something wrong with the bathroom status there, and that's a running joke, kind of amongst the
maybe I'll
podcast
take
guys
some
and
videos.
Ryan Kiping in gas stations, maybe not, but like bars and restaurants and stuff.
okay.
There's just shit is just out of whack down there. It
Am
looks
I
like
gonna
it's
get shit on my jeans again, like at Stucco's?
potentially, dude. I mean, I've been in some bathrooms. I know I sent you guys some videos. Of they just look like bathrooms. It looks like a scene out of Saw. Looks like a scene out of one of the Saw movies. Just dingy, poorly lit, lights
The
flickering.
light is like flickering. Yeah.
Not only is the paper towel machine run out of paper towel, there's just no paper towel machine. You just wipe your hands in your pants and leave the bathroom. There's no handle on
just
the
fucking
door.
do the little.
Yeah, just flicking on the wall.
Yeah.
Awful.
I don't know. Been through a pretty decent amount of states, and Arkansas still has my fucking number one vote for shittiest fucking state.
Arkansas, I wasn't
Like
impressed with, but I was almost to Texas.
Little Rock, Arkansas is not bad, but
Okay.
you get out of the capital, man, you
Yeah.
better have enough gas just to drive right through the fucker
Yeah.
because you don't want to stop.
Oklahoma is rough too, and my future brother-in-law is dating a girl who's originally from Oklahoma, and he goes out there quite frequently. I'm like, man, I feel bad for you. That state
Oklahoma's like a
is-
lost state that you forget
it's
exists.
just gray. It's Tornado Alley.
Yeah.
It's fucking it's just gray, and there's not a lot of trees around. It's just open like
That whole
short
area of the
grass
country-
fields.
Yeah, that whole area of the country kind of just sucks.
What do they call
It's
that?
just like dry, it's like dusty, and
That's not. I guess that's the southern tip of the heartland. Like they consider Oklahoma the South, but it's like to me the South is more southeast. I don't know.
Okay, I just had to make sure that okay, yeah, we're good. We're good. So we have our statistics on our geographic locations of who listens to us, and
We have 500 listeners from
nobody
Oklahoma
from
that are-
Oklahoma, nobody from Arkansas. So we are
It-
fucking
all
golden.
right.
They don't even have internet down there in those states.
But we do have Nebraska, and we have Kentucky, and we have Iowa. So we got to be careful. But
Nebraska's not bad.
no. But we
No.
no
It's just-
Oklahoma and Arkansas. So we can continue here.
That was
Nebraska is kind of like central Wisconsin. There's just like a lot of fucking cow farms,
yeah, a lot of
and, like,
cattle, a little bit of corn.
corn. Yeah, it's just farm. Same thing with Illinois. Illinois is all farm besides Chicago.
Illinois is weird because Chicago is like the last stop. It's just
I mean,
like
it's basically Wisconsin. Like, it's fucking right there.
even then you have, I mean, not as big as Chicago, but you have a few bigger cities. Pro sports team. You got Milwaukee. You got the brewing, capital of freaking the Midwest, which is nice, but still Just
Are
like
we gonna talk
throwing-
about Bud Light? Are we talking about Anheuser-Busch right
Oh,
now?
chill.
Easy now, easy
Yeah.
I saw that on one of Rogan's recent ones. He was
Oh,
sat down
they
with somebody.
talked
He's
about it?
like, well, I don't know if they talked about it, but the headline was like, or like the description was like, oh, sat down with so and so who's this, and the other, drank Bud Light, did this, and it was like,
You drank.
just
You drank what?
the
So I
what?
was gone when you guys talked about it, and
We didn't really.
no,
dive
not
deep on it.
really, and I don't have much to say either, but I do have a take though. I do have a take.
Let's hear it.
So obviously that picture of Kid Rock in the 90s was surfacing of him with a drag
yeah.
queen drinking
Yep.
Bud Light or whatever. So obviously in the last 5 to 10 years, Kid Rock has kind of gained a audience, right? Was this just a little show to get talked about, like kind of put him in the spotlight?
Again, yeah.
Because I'm sure that deep down now, of course, going back to the picture, at one time, clearly he didn't have a problem with people that,
Yeah.
he wasn't homophobic, sitting next to a drag queen,
Mm.
looked like enjoying himself drinking a Bud Light. But now he could have changed. Now maybe he doesn't support it. But I truly think,
We
and
don't.
I'm not here trying to defend Kid Rock. I'm not a Kid Rock stan. That's
Yeah.
not what I am. But I do truly think that, I don't know, because like watching the video, like seeing his facial expressions and stuff, it was almost like he was like kind
Kinda
of like a
poking at it.
little smirk, like,
Yeah.
he's like, I know this is gonna fucking blow up. And when he was shooting, and then I went back and looked at it, it looked like, from my Call of Duty career, it looked like an MP5.
Well, there was
submachine gun.
there was a couple people shooting that video. To
Oh,
my,
I don't think I saw that.
there was because there were. Did you see like the dragon's breath kind of
Mhm,
spray? Like you
mhm.
saw that. There was, I think that there were multiple firearms being shot.
Oh,
at that.
okay.
And I wonder
Dude,
where it
Tony,
was.
Let's pull this video up. I haven't like actually saw it.
Okay,
I just heard of it.
Shout out to the YouTube.
And another thing that's
I
weird.
also do know that was there any context of this video besides him just shooting?
So he shot the cans, and he said, hey,
that's about to find out.
Anheuser-Busch. Here, yeah, let me just I got it.
You got it saved.
Got it bookmarked.
All right. So I'm gonna screen share, and of course I'm gonna share the sound here. All right. Here we go.
Got the MAGA hat on.
Grandpa's feeling a little frisky today. Let me say something to all you and be as clear and concise as possible.
I was born. Doesn't that look like an MP5?
See the fire coming from the right side?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the muzzle flash, bro.
Was that muzzle flash?
Oh, yeah.
Some people have crazy.
And then
He
says,
actually looks mad. He
said-
legitimately looked mad at the
He
end.
says, "Fuck Bush
Grandpa's
or
feeling a
fuck
little
Bud
frisky
Light,
today.
fuck Anheuser-Busch."
Let me say.
Grandpa's feeling a little frisky today.
He was like actually mad. Dude, he was like actually mad at the end. You could tell.
I
He
don't
was
know.
like fucking pissed off.
I don't know if
He looked
they were
like it.
just- they were
Unless he's
just-
doing a good job of acting like he was.
I bet you they had that Bud Light and they were like drinking it, and then somebody's like, "Hey, did you see this?
We gotta do
this new
something with
shit?"
this.
And then maybe they didn't pull out the can with the kid's face on it or whatever, or with the whatever they put on the can that was so concerning to him. But I want to believe that they were sitting around drinking it, and he's like, "Oh man, fuck this!" A little half
Yeah.
in the bag.
Yeah.
Like,
go grab
get
my
those,
gun.
Get those sawhorses out. Get this gun out here. Let's film a video. Like I would.
How
love
long
to
ago was
believe-
that video? Did that video come out?
Well, I mean, like a day after they released the new
Dylan
brand.
Mulvaney thing, yeah.
So was that
It's-
like
it's
2 weeks
just
ago?
such- it's
Couple
just
yeah,
such a-
yeah. It was a couple weeks ago.
And it was
So
a
like
few,
you
few days
think
before
there would be
recorded.
some sort of like explanation like with the video, you know what I mean?
Well, what I don't get is that I don't know the statistics, but I feel like a lot of people know somebody that is either gay, lesbian, trans.
Yeah.
Like, what are the chances that he has no friends or knows somebody that's like really close to him that is gay, lesbian, or trans.
That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
it's
So, like-
there's no context to the video, so it's like you don't know why he's mad.
Right. No, that's true too.
Like
Because Dylan, you had a really good point.
You
too,
assume it's because of
Yeah.
him being, maybe against it, right? Being
Yeah.
against trans people.
But it does beg the question.
But
like,
people are assuming that, but it could also just be like he's upset because maybe he thinks other people deserve the recognition as well.
because when I had left when you guys were talking about it, and when I listened to it back, I was like, oh, that's a really good point. Because like maybe he does have a friend really close to him that's trans that he thought maybe they deserve to be on the
Yeah.
can or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's a really good point.
I think the biggest thing too for me, from my angle of things, is that it's very difficult for you to be involved in music or art in any way and have some sort of negative feeling or to voice your opinion that when your opinion is conservative. It is very difficult in the live music community, which I worked in. Very difficult for you to have like I wouldn't be caught dead working at like most artists. There's a few. Kid Rock apparently is one, and maybe what's the dude from Stained, Aaron Lewis. He is like he performs his set with the Make America Great Again hat on.
Okay.
And the people that go to that show
That's got to be crazy fucking
are in line with that. But all of the people that work, I mean, a great majority of those people are left leaning, are liberal, and so it's like I said, it's very
or just
difficult.
don't agree with the crowd.
100%. And so for you to have like a really hard edge on those sort of things and say it from stage, you've got to know your audience really well. I will say that, because there's almost no ultra conservative artists that I've worked for in like the broad, pop, metal, whatever sort of scheme. Not a lot of people got on stage.
Where you just got to not give a fuck.
Yeah, and you can do that, but if you're found out to be some sort of ultra conservative or bigoted in any way, like that crew is just out. They're just like, I don't give a shit about this show.
Right.
This guy's an asshole, and that's the people working. So
I thought you were talking about the artists. My bad. I'm just saying like the artists.
In general, the artists can make that decision, but they have to understand what they're doing, because historically people in the arts have been liberal. It's a liberal game. It's worked by liberals and it's put on by liberals. And so that's what it is. But enough about politics.
Yeah, I was gonna say my final take. I don't even know. It's just I just threw it out there. I thought it was maybe like a publicity stunt, and I
So why
hope
doesn't
maybe
it doesn't say like this?
maybe it's true to my heart, or just because I'm a good person and I don't believe that people would just do that because it's a trans person on the can, they're just like, well, my fucking god. Because I know there's people out there, but
100%.
for someone like his background, you wouldn't think that with the follow he has, that he would actually be like pissed and shoot the Bud Light can.
Or the idiots are like, I'm never drinking fucking Bud Light again. And they're drinking like Busch Light still.
I will say this has brought very good memes though.
Oh yeah. Have you guys seen the image of all the Anheuser-Busch brands?
There's a lot.
Everything that Anheuser-Busch, like you can basically drink nothing.
Yeah, right.
I saw that on social media. I wonder if I can find it. But
so let's get into some national holidays on this Tuesday, April 18th. Of course, if you are a release day listener, knock knock, it's the IRS. Happy National Tax Day.
Yeah.
As I have a fucking story that I'm pissed about. So hopefully I'm not the only one, because I know there's still people that have not received them. But I have not received my 2020 amended tax returns yet.
Really?
And it is a pretty significant amount of money. Much so that if the roles were reversed and I owe the IRS this amount, I probably would be in prison right now.
Yeah.
And what had happened was I got in contact with my local representative, and I was assigned a tax person that was helping me try to figure out what was the problem. And so we were going back and forth through email and phone calls, and finally we had found the problem. and I went to send something that was eventually going to fix the problem, and I never heard back from this lady. And so then I followed up a couple days later with another email, and I got back. This was in fucking February. We're going back and forth, and I'm like, I feel like I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I got this. All of a sudden, in early February, I email her again following up, and I get email return. Like I sent an email, and all of a sudden, boom, inbox. I had something right away, and I was like, that's never a good sign. I click on the email, and it says, I'm going to be out of the office until April 19th.
Oh my gosh. In February?
I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Because I know there's a fucking date where if you don't get it at a certain time, it's just like, you're like, well, sorry, bud. You're past the due date of getting it in or whatever.
Oh my
Because the
gosh.
really shitty thing is that there was something that I did wrong on my sheet,
Mm.
but they didn't tell me that. And when I called the IRS multiple times, they told me, oh, there's nothing that you can do. We're just backed up because of COVID. And then kept calling. Like a year later, I was like, hey, what the fuck? What's up with my money? Can I have it? Oh, we're still working on it. Nothing you can do. And turns out it was something that I could have done, and it was very simple for me to do. And then the person I was working with, just
Took
like,
a
you know what?
vacation.
I'm gonna leave, and I'm gonna come back after the
Tax day.
2023 tax day.
3 years later. Oh my gosh.
But it's a little story. But
I did
fuck
my
tax day.
I did my taxes like a week ago. And I did TurboTax for the first time because my CPA, my accountant, was just hiking the price up. First year I paid a couple hundred. Next year was over $3. Next year was over $4. It probably would have been close to $500 this year. And
No.
I had
that.
but I had like a couple W-2s, a couple of like I was a contractor, so that's why I went to a CPA. But I was like, now I'm just like W-2 all the way. So I
Mm-hmm.
filed it, and I still got to send in my city return because they asked for a bunch of extra shit that I shouldn't have to send. But yeah, TurboTax is great, but I also took me like 2 hours, and I was screaming and just fucking swearing and throwing shit because they're like, oh, you need this, and I'm like, okay, I got this. Didn't have it. Had to go on the IRS website, put all my biometric. They scanned my face. It was a disaster.
Oh my
So
gosh.
it was just like I got a decent return, but at the end of it, I like walked out in the living room where my roommate was sitting. I'm like, I got money back, and I still feel like I got robbed because I was so stressed and shit. But
It's unfortunate.
fuck taxes, fuck the man. Ugh.
It is International Jugglers Day.
Oh,
Ooh.
wonderful. I don't have anything to say about that.
No, the only thing I can say is I can't even remember the last time I saw somebody juggle something like in person.
One of my roommates can.
But if you can do it, son of a bitch, that's a hell of a party trick.
I couldn't.
Kelly can.
Really?
Can she?
Yeah.
All right.
I can too. A little. I used to be a lot better back in the day.
It is National Velociraptor Awareness Day.
Oh, nice. Power to the
Interesting.
Velociraptors. Dude, what?
National Piñata Day. World Amateur Radio Day.
That's a fun one.
Amateur radio operators provide emergency communications during both natural and man-made disasters. That brings me to, did you guys see the movie 2012?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
We watched that, I think, at your
Woody,
house.
Woody Harrelson's character?
Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah. I think National Exercise Day, I guess. That's exciting for some people. National Animal Cracker Day.
Ooh.
Now we're
going- I
I fucking
talking.
love.
We going
Animal
plain, or we
crackers.
going the pink frosted ones
So-
with all the sprinkles?
I don't know. I had a bad experience when I was younger with the frosted ones.
Ate too
I don't know
many.
if it was just yeah, and I got really sick, and I don't think I've had frosted animal crackers since. So I'm for sure plain, but I can't remember the last time I had animal crackers. Holy shit.
Kipes sent me a thing or a Snapchat that he found when we did the Reese's draft.
Mm-hmm.
He sent me a picture that Reese's now makes Reese's peanut butter covered animal crackers.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yep.
I saw him. I was in a gas station today, and I saw him. I'm like, oh shit, it's crazy. That's such a weird.
That's harder.
They're just like trying to diversify as much as they can. There's so many different Reese's products. Obviously, we did the draft, so
Going through kind of like the rest of the week. Wednesday is National Poker Day. And then something that I just realized, but now that I'm almost 27 years old, something I don't really care about. Boys, Thursday is 420.
Oh, jeez.
I would say our counterpart's not here. I'm sure he'd be pumped to hear about that.
So I have a
Getting
story.
started a week early.
I have a story, and I don't think I should tell it, but if I keep names out, I think I am safe.
I got a story too.
So 420. So when I was at college, I had roommates that really liked to smoke weed. And I dabbled a little bit before college, but never really got into it. And at college with these roommates, I kind of like, okay, I was like, yeah, I enjoy doing this. Not like every night or anything, but so on 420, we had planned to go to my roommate's friend's house, and we leave our dorm, and as we're getting to our car, there's 3 cop cars in the parking lot, and we're like, oh, what the heck, that's weird. And one of them was like very close to the dorm, like almost on the sidewalk. And so we get into his car, and as soon as we get into the car, and we start backing out of the parking lot, the cop cars start to move.
This was on 420?
Yeah. So we pull out of the dorm parking lot, and sure enough, all 3 fucking cop cars pull us over.
Oh,
and I'm freaking out because I had never, speeding ticket is all I had in my name at the time. And I mean, I shouldn't have, I said that wrong because I feel like now it seems like I have more on my record after. I only have speeding tickets, but I've never gotten serious trouble like that. And so I'm freaking out. And cop walks up to the window. And sure enough, he goes, "Are you?" And he says the gentleman's name. And I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding? What did you do?" I was like, "What did you do to have 3 cop cars staked out of a goddamn dorm room?" So he says, yeah, I'm him. And they ask us to step out of the car, and we step out of the car. And geez, as we were, as the cops were pulling us over, we were like, we needed a backstory. And at the time, you were only allowed to park as a freshman at the football field, and the football field was away from our dorm. So we had said, okay, we're going to park our car because we're freshmen. And, we went through it. We got through it. Like, they didn't question us. And so I'm standing out in the grass. My roommate is talking to the cops, and they're like, all right, let's search it. So they start searching the car. I don't know if they had warrants. They must have. I wasn't in the conversation. I was kind of far away from them. And sure enough, they open up his trunk, and I hear a cop go, "Oh, yeah, I smell it." I'm like, holy shit. I'm thinking I'm fucked because my mom always used to tell me, like, if you're in a passenger seat, even if you're in the passenger seat, you could get in trouble. So I'm freaking out. And of course, they take my roommate and they put him in the cop car. And the cop comes up to me and is just like, take your friend's car to the football field, where you guys were going. And so sure enough, I brought to the football field, and I remember I sprinted to Liv's apartment to like let him know, like, oh my god. And so then my day goes by, I'm like freaking out, I'm like, oh my god, roommate's in jail. So I get to my dorm, and I had another roommate, and knock on the door. And I open it, and it's a cop, and I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So he asks for my other roommate, and I'm like, he's at class or whatever. He's like, let him know that I came. So I was like, all right. So I let him know, and I told him what had happened earlier, and so he knew what was about to happen and turned himself in. What had happened was they had went and smoked weed one night and came back to the dorm, and they passed an RA, and the RA called the cops on them, and they had came then a different day to arrest them for them smelling like fucking weed like a week ago. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like, I never really got to the bottom of it. There might have been more that came of it, but I was freaking out, and it was on 420. I believe it had to have been 2015 or 2016.
Man.
And that was my only 420 story. And I haven't smoked weed since.
Um,
Just
I
just kidding.
I don't. I wonder if there was it Campus PD or was it
I do not
public?
remember. I think it might have been county, Isabel
Okay,
County.
because yeah, I think there's some sort of there's probably some sort of thing that you forfeit your right to like search and seizure while you're on a college campus or something. This is all I'm spitballing here. I think by you living in the dorms, you maybe sign away some of those like rights because you're on like private
Yeah,
property. I don't know how that
maybe.
all works. I've heard, if a campus PD officer, stops you for something on campus, people have like requested local law enforcement to come in, like they can
Oh,
only
it's like
detain you or something
I'm
like
sorry,
that.
Aaron, to cut you off, but I took my headphones off because I thought I heard Kobe scratching the floor, but it's fucking BB pellets coming down right now. That snow is starting, or that rain is starting to
Oh shit.
harden up. That's not good.
I think probably what happened is like the cops were talking to him and like they probably like were freaking him out, like saying shit to him because they could probably smell the weed. And then like eventually he probably said that like they probably asked to search his car and he was like, yeah, yeah. And like, he could have been like fucking frustrated or like scared, and just said yeah. And then
Oh,
like he
I
probably
smell it.
and then like he could have been like, who'd you get this from? And be like, oh, my roommate, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So like
maybe.
maybe
Maybe.
I don't know.
I
You were
never.
talking,
I've had a hard time believing that an RA could tell the cops that
yeah, and like a week
someone smells
later.
like weed and then like they get arrested for
And
smelling like
three
weed
three
a
cop cars
day
show
later.
up. It's like, really? It's
Oh,
college. Like, you probably smell it all the time.
Yeah.
And they go out of their
There's probably
way,
more to it.
wasting
it's
taxpayers'
soccer,
fucking
Greg.
dollars.
And now it's legal.
Yeah.
You're 21.
You said you had a 420 story, Aaron?
I think
You want to pass
I
on it?
don't.
no, I don't know if it might have been 420. I don't remember. I just remember being in college and I think it was 420 and I had never really had like a bad experience before and I just never really was into to marijuana, but
You mean you never had a good experience before?
sure. Yep, definitely.
No, that's what you said. You never had a bad experience
Oh,
before.
sorry. Yeah, I never had a good experience with it. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I just remember it wasn't even 420. I don't even need to tell. Should I tell it? I should tell it. Yeah, my roommate, one of my roommates from my college experience, was like, "Oh, it's 420." He's like all about it, and I'm like, whatever. And he's like, no. And he's like, let me be your guide. And you guys know who I'm talking about, but I won't let it out on the air. But he was like, all right, we'll get it all set up. He bought a couple of flavored cigars, cleaned them out, filled them
Mhm.
up, all this stuff. Everybody knows the story, right? And we bought like steaks and like Caesar salad mix.
Damn.
And we uh this is probably my only like second time ever trying it. And we smoked and I was like, okay, what's going on? And we were listening to Pink Floyd, of course.
Oh my
um,
gosh.
uh Shine On You
Is
Crazy Diamond.
anybody out there?
And I just remember you know
Name
yeah, yeah, just like,
Tom Sawyer, me.
and I for the podcast listeners that are listening to us ramble on about songs, that is the perfect noise, the intro to Rush's Tom Sawyer, where it's like the synth note that comes in and the drums come in, and that's like when you first feel the effects of marijuana. That is like the classic. That is
Oh
like
my
the
God.
that's, we always joke around about that, but no, it was an interesting experience. I don't like the way it makes me feel. I wish that I liked it more. It's better for you. Maybe not to smoke, but in my opinion, it's better for you to use marijuana than it is alcohol. It's less damaging, assuming you're not smoking it and burning it. But no, and then we ate steak and Caesar salad and watched probably Trailer Park Boys or something.
Yeah.
Then
Damn.
I came down and I had a horrible headache, and I was like, I don't know, it's not relaxing. But really, really fucking lame story. just,
Oh, so
just
you got high,
fuck.
ate steak, Caesar
Yeah.
salad, and watched Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah, sounds like a terrible time.
Yeah, it wasn't like I don't know. Now they have down here they have like all these 420 like little things where people get together and they got a band playing, and it's like kind of under the radar because you're not
Mhm.
supposed to be out in public, but people still are, and so just one of those things. And now it's more celebrated and more common, but yeah, during the time it was illegal.
It was very illegal.
But
All right. Well, I think meat and potatoes.
yeah, without further ado,
Starting to smell it.
the main fucking entree is here.
So you may have heard, in the National Beer Day episode, we had a caller that suggested that maybe we talk about the Straits, of course, talking about the Mackinac Bridge and Mackinac Island. Now, today we have chosen Mackinac Island as our focus point here on this episode. Let's see, 50 minutes into the podcast.
Shut up, seriously?
It's 40.
Oh my gosh.
So we're going to do a little not a deep dive, but we're going to talk about Mackinac Island a little bit. So if we caught your eye and this is a first-time listener, we're so sorry that it took you this long to get to Mackinac Island. They're probably not here anymore, but we're going to talk about Mackinac Island a little bit. If you do not know what Mackinac Island is, if you look at a map, go to Michigan, go to St. Ignace, go to the bridge, right where the UP and the Lower Peninsula connect. Mackinac Island is due east of St. Ignace, a little island there. It's kind of I don't know. We'll get into it a little more, but I need to read this, kind of tell you the history about it.
Yeah, what's the source?
So Mackinac Island, this is MackinacIsland.org. Sure enough. So we're looking at Mackinac Island, the history throughout the centuries. And this article was published in 2019 on Christmas Day, actually, December 25th. So Mackinac Island is apparently the #1 best island in the continental U.S. And it says for many reasons. Big one is the history of the place. Mackinac Island maintains deep roots to its past, and the vacation destination you know and love in the 21st century has been shaped by its history in lots of ways. And yes, it's vacation destination. This is essentially what it is. And if you maybe know of Isle Royale, the island that is, north of the Copper Country, this is totally different. There's actually things that you can do on this island. And I guess
it's a tourist attraction.
Get right into it. Yeah. So Mackinac Island, more than 400 years ago, long before Europeans settled in northern Michigan, indigenous people called this their area home. Mackinac Island has been considered a sacred place for, damn it. It's a native name, and I'm going to botch it, and I apologize.
Mackinac.
No, it's Anishinaabic people, Ottaway, Ojibwe, and Potawatomi. The historical significance has been documented through oral traditions and written history. Mackinac Island served as sacred burial grounds as well as a place of gathering for fishing, trapping, and navigating the northern waterways. Even the name Mackinac Island is derived from the original Native American name interpreted by the French as Michilimackinac, meaning place of the great turtle. It's a cool little fact there. So when you go deeper into 1620, this is circa 1620, the Mayflower was bringing pilgrims to New England. 1620, French explorers were venturing westward toward the upper Great Lakes into what was known as New France. It would be 14 years until a European first laid eyes on Mackinac Island, and 50 years until a Catholic mission was established. So now we're going circa 1720. The Straits of Mackinac had become the primary transportation corridor in the upper Great Lakes, fueling a vibrant fur trade that powered the economy of New France. Just 5 years later, to safeguard the fur trade, the French built Fort Michilimackinac on the mainland of the tip of Michigan's Lower Peninsula in what is now Mackinac City. And of course, if you're coming from the UP going downstate, you will see it on the right-hand side of the inland there on Mackinac City. But while the fur trade would remain the primary economic activity in the Straits well into the 19th century, in just over 40 years, the French would relinquish control of Fort Michilimackinac to the British following the French and Indian War. So now we're getting into 1820. Even though it had been nearly a half century since the Americans declared independence, Mackinac Island only recently had come under the control of the United States by treaty after the War of 1812. The war included the famous Battle of Mackinac, when the British repelled an American attack on the grounds of what is now actually the golf course that is on Mackinac Island, which is apparently the oldest golf course in Michigan.
Damn.
Hmm.
Play that one.
They were fighting on Mackinac Island because in 1780, the British moved Fort Michilimackinac to the Mackinac Island's high bluffs. Now, of course, if you go there, you can see this Michilimackinac, or the fort, and they actually do little reenactments too. And I think that's like once you get into the main lands, it's like the first thing you see is like up on the mountains is the fort there, and it's actually pretty sweet. Getting into the 1920s. It says, while the fur trade continued well into the 1800s, the military and economic significance of Fort Mackinac began to wane. By the later half of the 19th century, tourism began to emerge as the hallmark of Mackinac Island. So tourism really began in the 19th century. Much of Mackinac Island was designated as a national park, staffed by soldiers from Fort Mackinac, and beautiful hotels and Victorian cottages began sprouting. As more vacationers arrived, entrepreneurs worked to make Mackinac Island synonymous with fudge. And this plays a huge part of what this conversation will be here a little later. In the 1920s, downtown shops innovated the brilliant techniques of demonstrating fudge, making it right in front of customers and using large ceiling fans to waft the sweet scent out into the street. Oh, Lord. And although Ari Old started churning out automobiles 2 decades before, Mackinac Island banned cars in 1920, a distinctive characteristic that remains to this day. So yes, there are no motor vehicles on this island. And you basically only can get around with either bikes or horse and carriage.
Yeah, not even on foot. You're
Pretty
not
dope.
allowed. You're actually not allowed to walk. You
Yeah,
actually do have to rent a bike.
Yep.
I just saw a statistic that there were like 1,400 bikes available for rent or horse. You're not allowed to step on the street.
They now
Spreading misinformation.
Now we're going circa 2022. There's new drones that pick you up by your shirt
Okay.
and drive you, since there's no fuel that goes through the drones. Mackinac Island today, you can come and tour Mackinac Island by horse-drawn carriage, just as they did back in 1920. You can stay in Mackinac Island hotels, Airbnbs, and cottages that date as far as back as 1852. And now this looks like they're kind of just naming some things you can do. So it's turning into an advertisement. But yeah, Fort Mackinac, like I said, you can see it as soon as you get to the island, which, by the way, of course, it is an island. How do we get there? Now, I have pictures of what you travel on. I did not my research, because as a youngin', I was in Mackinac Island quite frequently, actually. Every year, my parents would bring us for like a family trip. But as it being an island and being several miles away from Mackinac City or St. Ignace, you have to take a ferry. And that's a huge deal with Mackinac Island in the summertime, taking the ferry. It's actually a pretty sweet fucking ride. And they have really fucking cool ferries that you can take to the island.
The spitter boat.
And I'm going to show you right now one that I think might not exist anymore. So I went on the website to see what ferries still run today. And when we went,
2 entities traditionally, but I don't know if they're.
This was like probably in the mid 2000s up until like 2009 or 10, I think, the last time we went. But we always, and shout out to the YouTube, we would take the Arnold. And this is what the Arnold looked like. But when I went on the website, I did not see the Arnold anymore. So I think this might not be a thing anymore.
Now, is that an individual? So that's Arnold Transit Company. That's no affiliation with Shepler's or the Star?
No, nope.
Okay.
Because at the time it was the Star Line, Shepler's, and Arnold, Arnold. And the Arnold kind of has, like a yachty vibe compared to like the other ones.
Yeah.
There's several layers, decks. I think there was 2 or 3. Yeah, there was
Passenger decks.
3. 3 passenger decks. Just a cool looking boat. And
Yeah.
we go to what now is still currently taking people to the island. Here is the Sheplers, which is just two decks, 2 passenger decks, one topless on the top.
Just
of the
fucking caking
boat,
people.
Yeah.
and in the bottom
Sunburnt as
section, of
fuck.
course. So that's the Sheplers. The last one is the Starline. Now this one is pretty dope.
Little pizzazz on that guy there.
Pretty dope. It shoots a stream.
That
out
one
from the
probably replaced the
bottom.
Arnold, man.
And well, it was there at the time. There was 3 when we had went. It was the Starline, the
maybe.
Sheplers, and the Arnold. But Dylan,
What a beautiful picture.
I have never seen this type of Starline, so I think you're correct, Dylan, on them taking over the Arnold, because here is a Starline that looks pretty similar to the Arnold.
Yeah.
So I think the Starline
Yeah, it just looks like they repainted that fucker, man.
Yeah, I think they maybe have bought out the Arnold Transit
Yeah.
Company. I'm not sure, but
Probably.
when I
That
looked on
looks
the
like
website,
fresh paint job.
because it's the same thing. 1 deck, 2 deck, and then the deck on top.
Yep.
But it's pretty cool. Starline is definitely, I think the Arnold, we took it because it was the fastest. That was like what it was known for. It was being like the quickest one. But the Starline, obviously, with that jet stream coming out of the back there, it's pretty cool. Plus, if you're on the top, you can get a little spray,
Little mist.
little mist. But now talking about Mackinac Island, now we can, without any research, looking at anything, talking about anything, let's describe Mackinac Island for our listeners.
Horse shit and fudge.
So you heard about how there are no motor vehicles on this island. There's no cars. There's no electric mopeds. Or I guess there could be electric mopeds, but no gas-powered anything. Nothing fuel related, because they wanted to keep it that way, and it's pretty cool. It's unique. But since there are lots of horses and carriages that bring you around the town, there's a lot of horse shit. And there's 2 things that you're going to smell when you get off that island, or off that ferry onto the island. It's going to be horse shit, and it's going to be fudge. And I can tell you, I can smell that smell right now in my parents' computer room in Ontonagon. It's a very distinct smell, because you'll be like, oh my gosh, that fudge smells delicious. And all of a sudden, yeah, there's a pile of fucking horse shit, like
right outside the fudge shop.
10 feet from you. And they do have people that go around with like the fucking scrapers that scrape it off with big ass shovels, because there's a lot of horses. There's a lot of horses. There's that. So what does that mean? They're eating pretty well over at Mackinac Island, so they're shitting quite a bit. But yeah, no, it's actually really cool, and you can take bikes. Aaron talked about bikes. There are a lot of bike renting companies that have tandem bikes and just singular bikes. But you can bike around the whole island, and it is actually very beautiful. I had a picture that I should have had up, but the famous, which you might have seen it, the rock arc in Mackinac Island. And there's just like several places that you can hike while you're there, but this is like the biggest attraction there. And I'm gonna share my screen, show it to the YouTube.
Arch Rock.
It's the Arch Rock. And of course, you can see there's like a viewing area that you can go and hike to, but this is like that's pretty
badass.
That's the hidden gem. Is that little arch rock thing? It's pretty cool. But I guess for people that maybe have not been ever and still have no idea what we're talking about, Mackinac Island is very established. We talked about Isle Royale and how it's very rugged and rustic, and there's no pretty much any.
I don't think there's a single structure.
Any buildings?
Other
I don't.
Maybe like a DNR shack or something.
I don't. I think you're right. Of course, back on MackinaCisland.org. But you can see that it's pretty cool. And I talked about how there's a bunch of shops and a lot of Victorian homes that you can tour. You can go on like little tours and stuff. Of course, they have the carriages that can take you around. But the downtown is just loaded with a bunch of bullshit shops that you can go and get like stupid fucking toys and fudge, and there's a couple actually really nice restaurants on Mackinac Island. But this downtown, I mean, it's beautiful. And I think in the back there, that's Fort Mackinac that you can see from the downtown area. But I think to be honest, I think the coolest thing about the island is that there's no cars. Because when the fuck do we ever see that, you know? Horses and carriages, bikes,
Yeah.
It's a little
walking on
time
your
capsule.
feet. It is. It is. Because it is a little more modern now. Um, and again, it's a huge tourist attraction. But there being no cars is pretty cool. And I think that's like the big kicker for me, at least when I go. It's like, wow, like look at this picture. Could you imagine?
Mhm.
Ah, can't really zoom in that much. And then the other big attraction on Mackinac Island is the hotel.
The Grand Hotel.
So you may have heard about the Grand Hotel. And it is honestly it's fucking beautiful. But my God, is it expensive?
Oh yeah.
It's very expensive.
It's like $300 a night or something like that. That was the last
What?
time I heard.
I think it's more
Probably
than
more.
that, to be honest.
Depending on when you go.
Yeah, I think like deep in the summer, I think it's close to 500 a night. I would have to imagine. But there's a picture for the YouTube. It's beautiful, as you can see. There's a fucking nice like pool area at the bottom.
Holy shit.
But
I think
it
it's got
isn't
that
that
whole front
nice?
that whole front
Oh my
area that you're seeing
gosh.
is actually one giant porch, and it's like one of the biggest porches in
Is that like an old
the
building?
world. Oh yeah, it was built way back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that
I think
Is that like where
I
around
think
like the military fort was?
Marilyn Monroe stayed there.
yeah, there's a couple famous people that have stayed there. And there was a book that I had bought, I think when I was there with my family. And it was like the hauntings surrounding Mackinac Island. And there's a story about how there used to be a lady that worked for the Grand Hotel, and I think I don't know how she died. I don't know if it was suicide or what, but I guess there's stories that if you go out on that porch at night, you can hear like a lady like talking. And of course, if you don't believe in ghosts, you can go fuck yourself. But on this big porch, I
Hard
guess
stance.
right when I saw that porch, I just thought of that story because I remember reading it because we were at the island and I was like, oh my God, we got to go to the fucking Grand Hotel. My parents were like, you fucking kidding me? We're not going staying there. Expensive. But yeah, that hotel is beautiful. That
I mean,
hotel is
$500 a night. I better be getting
beautiful.
a lot of fucking crazy ass. Like, what do the rooms look like? Can you see what a room looks like in that fucking thing?
Oh yeah, I can. And it's all about service too. You know, they have like
Yeah. I mean, you're paying for a whole experience. You're not just paying just for a room.
right. And that's what it is. You know, the experience, they have like butlers, and it's usually with people stay there are like, you know, suit and tie kind of corporate deal. Obviously you're gonna get the families that just want to try it for the experience, but it is pretty kind of like high class establishment, I would say. I do have a picture of rooms.
You don't have to show me a
Um,
bunch. I've never been to the fucking Big Island, so I don't even know. I've never been there, so
I actually when I went there a few years ago for work, and we were hauling audio equipment out.
on horse carriage.
Yep. So here's a couple pictures of the rooms.
as you can see,
Uh,
you are paying for the experience because like
Very old timey. It's
why do
all
these rooms have to look like this, you know, in
That's some
2023?
weird
But
shit.
it's the experience that you're paying for.
Yep. So when I went there, we hauled a bunch of AV equipment to do sound for a band that was going to play at like a private wedding in one of the little ballroom areas, banquet rooms, and we got all the AV equipment off the truck at the dock. I think we used Shepler's. rolled all of these road cases onto this ferry. And right before we got on, the guy that I was working for, it was a different contract, or different contractor. He hit the ATM and he pulled out, I don't know how much money. It was probably like $500 or less. And he's like, you got to do this when you're coming to the island. He's like, you're not supposed to tip anybody, but check this shit out. So we get on the ferry, we get over there. Immediately at the dock, he's handing out $20 bills, and all of these guys from the staff that works for a lot of the places on Mackinac Island, specifically for the Grand Hotel. There's like little, essentially like Sherpas. They'll take stuff up in a horse-drawn carriage, up to the Grand Hotel, and the Grand Hotel is up this giant hill. So you go through like the downtown area, and there's a couple side streets that we take to get up there. But we load all this crap on there, and he's handing out 20s, and we're moving at a pace. They're just like, "Yep, we got it, 100%, great, awesome, throw it on there, let's go." So we ride up this horse-drawn carriage with all this audio gear, 2 horses, up this giant hill, and we go into like this loading. They like back the horse like drawn carriage down this thing. We start to load in. This guy's handing out 20s. They're taking gear up. We're just like watching at this point. Like normally it'd be us schlepping these fucking, road cases upstairs and whatever. And he's just greasing palms the whole way. And come to find out that there is a person, I don't know if it's a man or woman, that is from like a resort community in, like, I think it's Jamaica or somewhere in some Caribbean island, and they go to those islands where there are big resorts, sandals resorts, all that stuff, and they pick the best people that are top quality service, top professionals at resort staffing stuff, and they bring them to Mackinac Island to work. And it's a different pace there, and it's it's not as corporate, but and so it's all these workers from all of these crazy resorts, and like big name resorts that you'd see in Cancun, or like I said, Jamaica, or any of the other, Aruba, those sort of places. He hand picks them and takes them to the island, Mackinac Island, to to present their craft of service at this like vintage hotel. So it was pretty cool. The show was kind of lame. It's just like a cover band for like a wedding of like less than probably 50 people. But the whole place is just like, there's all these like weird little corridors. And if you've ever been to like a major event center and been kind of backstage, so to speak, or like in the service corridors, like that place is lined with them, and this is like all underground, like a pathway. It almost looks like a hospital. Very long hallways with like elevators to go up so that they can provide food and drink and linens and all this stuff to all of the people that are staying at the floor above. It's pretty wild. It's like a little city beneath that hotel that goes on to provide the guests with the service they receive. Very weird looking at the underbelly though, because it's just like people from all over the world, just that are there because they're good at what they do to provide service to tourists. It's really bizarre. And I actually mentioned to my parents, I was like, hey, we should take a little family trip, go to Mackinac Island, stay in the Grand Hotel. And my parents were like, no. And I was like, why not? They're like, oh, it's just weird. It's like
there's a dress code too.
But they're like hearkening back to like plantation, like slave days there, where it's all like pomp and circumstance, like you said, the dress code.
Yep.
And then it's all these migrant workers from everywhere who are very good at what they do, but it's just like it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
And
it really is.
And I saw that when I was there, and it was a little bit bizarre, because there was like an air of like this kind of like I said, southern plantation. And when you go there, it looks like the giant front porch with the rocking chairs, and everything's all stark white, and then inside everything's covered in not jewels, but it's very ornate carpet, and just like, I don't know, it is a little bit bizarre. And when I looked at that experience through that like lens, I was like, yeah, this is a little bit weird.
So you might be asking yourself, what happens in the wintertime at Mackinac Island? Well, I have this that tells me that approximately 7,000 people live on the island during the summer months. As of course, tourism season kicks up, you need employees for, all the shops and hotels and bed and breakfasts and shit. During the winter, only 400 remain on the island. And we kind of touched on it 2 episodes ago. But of course, it is an island. And you can't stay on the island the entire time. You have to sometimes leave the island, or people that need to get there in the wintertime. How do they? Again, we touched on it. You take a snowmobile across fucking Huron on the ice. And what they do, they call it the like the ice bridge or the snow bridge, but they put Christmas trees on the ice to give you like a path. And have a picture here. It's kind of like a video, but you can see in the background.
I didn't even know
there's Christmas trees lined up on the lake, on the ice, that you can follow the path to get to the island. It is wild. It is very wild.
Does it say how many miles it is?
And I think
it's... What's the distance?
No, but I know that the ferry rides, they're a good 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So if you think, if the boats are going, 15 miles per hour, maybe 8-9 miles.
Yeah.
But I have pictures of Mackinac Island during the wintertime, and I have to say, this is not something that I have looked at before.
It's 7.9 miles from Mackinac City. So it's essentially 8 miles from Mackinac City to Mackinac Island.
Mackinac Island in the wintertime looks pretty dope, actually. And I kind of want to retract a statement. I said that there's no vehicles that consume any type of fuel, but in the wintertime,
apparently snowmobiles are a thing.
Obviously, bikes are out of commission. You still have your horses.
Yeah,
but snowmobiles.
That Marquette crew, though, those guys with the fat tire bikes, I'm sure they
they go across the lake.
Take that 8-mile journey on the fat tire.
I'm sure they could. Fucking hopped up on Black Rock's beer and fucking granola.
Yeah.
But snowmobiles, they get around on snowmobiles during the winter, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
That'd be so sick. Get the guys, get a couple of cases.
That would be fun as shit. Oh my god. Just like even on the horse ride, like going on a carriage ride, like in the winter, that'd be beautiful. Oh, yeah. Like the snow on the trees, and I mean, it's got to be miserable, but
yeah, you're just out in the elements on an island. All that weather's blowing through the Straits of Mackinac.
No, I really, really wish that I would have found out about the school, because there is a school on Mackinac Island, and I just looked it up, and I don't know how accurate this is. This is from usnews.com, so I'm going to have to get my malware going after this, but I have grades K through 12, the total enrollment, 29. Now, that might not be surprising to some because, of course, why would there be a lot of students at this school and there's only 400 people living there in this winter? But I don't know how, like, they must, because I see on TV6 when they show some of the scores from their basketball games and stuff, they're playing other schools, so they have to go across the lake. So are they
is it straight up just a Mackinac Island team, or is it like a Mackinac?
No, it's
it like a combined team.
It's just no, it's straight up just Mackinac Island. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, because like you know how like there's like some towns, like Baraga and shit like that.
Yeah, like when they like combine schools,
like go together with other schools and shit.
Yeah. Well, I have to assume that maybe they combine, because if they do have 29 people K through 12, how do they get a basketball roster?
That sounds like there'd be like 2 people, like I don't even know how you would fucking field a team unless you have like fucking 10-year-olds on your fucking JV basketball team.
Just every grade. You got third graders on your varsity team. So I don't know if they do co-op or whatever, but that's got to be interesting during the school year. Instead of going on the bus, you got to hop on a fucking trollmobile and go across the lake. Dude, that's got to be sick. But I do have some a little bit of facts. And do you guys have yours?
Yeah, I got a couple random odds and ends for sure.
All right, and I'm sure that we probably went to the same sites, so we might, if you hear something that you had, just skip it, I guess. But
Yeah.
Aaron, you can go first.
The main thing that I saw was fudge related, and I know that's probably Nick and Ryan Monroe laughing. Of course, he picked the one about fudge. But I think it's 10. Let me look. It is 10 tons of Michigan sugar per week. MackinacIsland.org. In peak season, right in the middle of summertime, more than 10 tons of sugar are transported to Mackinac Island each week.
Holy shit.
It says Mackinac Island's famous fudge is a must try when you visit the island and can be found in any of the 7 Mackinac Island fudge shops. I don't know if that's
Is it Murdoch's?
more or less. I'm trying to find this is published February 24, 2021. So 2 years ago, as of February 24th. But yeah, 7 in the main, and I'm sure there's probably a couple of other ones that I don't know if they don't maybe not make fudge, but it's not Murdoch's, it's Murdick's, I
Or
believe.
Murdick's, yeah.
But it's got a link. We got a link to him here, so I think that would be fun if any of you listeners go and try the 7 fudge shops. I'll rattle them off here. We've got Joanne's Fudge, Kilwins, which Kilwins is a chain. They have locations down here in GR and in Traverse City. A lot of the lake towns. If you're in Lower Michigan, you hit Traverse City, Charlevoix, Petoskey, South Haven, Grand Haven, Holland. I believe most of those have a Kilwins, and they're all like carbon copies of one another. You have the same shitty t-shirt shops. That's a whole nother bit, is t-shirt shops, because man, you can buy some junk at these.
The tie-dye.
Oh yeah, just like
a brown shirt, Times New Roman, font 12, just says Mackinac Island.
Yep.
$40.
So Joanne's, Kilwins, Maze Fudge Shop, Murray Hotel Fudge Company, Ryba's, Sanders, and the original Murdick's. And Murdick's is been on the island since 1887.
Yeah, that's the OG.
So they're rocking the fudge, the peanut brittle, chocolate nut clusters, and bark from the best ingredients. This is according to MackinacIsland.org. I've had a lot of Kilwins. They do ice cream and fudge, but nothing is better than the OG Murdick's. They just have that. You could pull up that shitty brown logo they have. There's no way. There's no good way to advertise fudge, right? And there's tons of innuendos and jokes we could crack, but it is something to see these. They'll have like fucking college students there. I was on Reddit today looking at stuff and for Mackinac Island, and there's a lot of like college students, people in their early 20s.
Oh yeah, dude.
That go to that island on the summer and just spend. I know Ryan's brother-in-law. That's a whole story too with the kayaks on his bachelor party.
Oh my god!
But we had a funny incident with some kayaks on a kayak tour in Traverse City, and then the next summer, Ryan's brother-in-law went out to Mackinac Island to work, and he was a kayak guide, and he became what he grew to hate the weekend of Ryan's bachelor party. We'll get into that eventually, I'm sure, but yeah, it was there's tons of college students and people that are in their early 20s that go out there to do seasonal work on Mackinac Island at the Grand Hotel or at the bike rental places or fudge shops. So you'll see some young guns cooking confectionery at these fudge shops.
Watch their tit sweat fall onto the fudge. Again, you can watch
Hell
them
yeah.
make it right in front of you.
Dude, anytime I've been to Mackinac Island, it is 80 plus degrees, 100% humidity, and you could drink the air. It is the hottest place in Michigan during the summer. The sun just beats down on that little rock.
76 degrees is the average high temperature in July.
And just the humidity. I just remember it being sweaty and sticky.
Yep.
And you got all these old timey shops, and as you mentioned earlier, the big fans to waft all this fudge smell onto everybody that walks in there. But then you got baking horse shit on like brick or cobblestone roadways. I think it was like brick or cobblestone. The streets aren't like paved.
Okay, so I don't got a lot of sick facts because you guys basically said every fucking one because you guys like to talk for so fucking long. But
Sorry.
so I'm on like this Mackinac Island. It's like on Google where like people are like asking questions
Okay.
like to like people that live there or work there. Just like well, first before I say this, we did confirm before this episode that Mackinac Island is part of the UP, right?
Yes.
We did.
Yep.
Did we put that on the podcast? Did
No,
we tell
we-
these
No,
we
people?
haven't.
We haven't
No.
talked about it yet.
All right, so we definitely confirmed that the island is part of the UP. Which if that matters to anyone, I mean, I don't know if it
It's
does or not,
ours.
but
It's ours, fuckers.
yeah. So one of the good questions I saw was, "What's the best time of year to visit?" And then the answer was Mackinac Island. It's beautiful in the spring, summer, and fall months. If you wish to avoid crowds, enjoy a more peaceful visit, May and September are wonderful times. Obviously, because the temperatures and the lack of people being there, because it's not like peak tourism
Mhm.
season yet. So if you're trying to make your way to Mackinac Island, those sound like some pretty good fucking times to go. And then also here's the prices for the ferry.
Ooh.
This person said that the prices are only $8 per ticket for an adult, so that doesn't sound too bad at all.
Mm-hmm. Do
I
you
mean,
see what
I-
that comment was?
You take a ferry and like how long can you stay over there? Like, could you just fucking take an $8 ferry and like stay over there for a
Yeah.
month?
I mean, if you can find somewhere to live
Right.
on the island, yeah, you could, because it's not like a plane ticket where you have to, it's just one way. You buy one way and you can stay there for 20 minutes. You can stay there for 10 hours. You could stay there for days if you have somewhere to stay. And then when you want to go back, you just purchase another ticket, get over.
No, they do have 2-way tickets. But and you can get them like a gap between them, time gap. So there is like a last ferry that leaves out there. They don't run 24/7.
Yeah, October 5th is the last one. I just read that.
And I don't know if another random fact is not random. 82% of Mackinac Island is state park. So I'm curious. Most of the state parks in Michigan,
You can camp.
you can just camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. There's camping sites there. I read that as well. There's
So,
camping sites. It says there's RV sites.
That would be
Um,
fucking badass. to
But I think
camp
it was a typo.
there.
But there's definitely camping sites. There's a golf course. There's
Yeah.
hiking trails.
it'd be interesting to go over there just with like a backpack, like not even
Mhm.
like a hard like hiking backpack, just a fucking duffel bag and rough it. Go over and bring a 4-man tent. And
That
the
would
one
be
thing I
fucking
did notice
badass.
the last time I went there, I mentioned on the audio gear, we worked at the hotel up on the hill, and then once we were done with work, I don't remember how late the bar stayed open. I think I want to say it was beyond 2 a.m., but I can't throw that number out there without saying you should definitely call ahead. But when you're on your way down, there's a giant driveway from the hotel. We hit every single bar on the way back to our like Airbnb, and we were just crucified by the end of the night. I mean, it was, and the worst part is that there's no like gas station 24-hour convenience thing.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we were just like, dude, I need a Gatorade for tomorrow. I need like a slice of pizza tonight. Nothing. And they shut down the kitchens relatively early. So if you're going to go out there and you're going to, paint the town red, you got to be prepared. You got to have
Mhm.
something waiting back at the hotel for you that you can scarf down and dehydrate, because it's not like a convenience store thing. It's not like there's no Sitco on the corner where you can grab a pizza pocket and a
Yeah.
Gatorade and a iced coffee for the morning. It ain't that kind of deal. So,
Always gotta be
just
prepared, Aaron. Always gotta be prepared. That's about it for my my little part. You guys said a lot already, and just to be quite honest, I was traveling all day today, so I didn't really have time to do much fucking looking. So
Oh, that's all right. I have a cool one. 600 horses come to work on Mackinac Island each year.
600 horsepower only.
Of course, cars haven't been allowed on Mackinac Island for over 100 years. We talked about it. Instead, Mackinac Island runs on authentic horsepower. Each spring, some 600 horses come to Mackinac Island to take visitors on carriage tours, taxi guests to and from various points of interest, and pull drays to deliver luggage and everything else that needs to be moved around.
Was that the trailer? The horse trailer is called a dray. Drey. Is that what it is? You said to pull horses come to pull
Drays, D-R-A-Y, yep.
Dray. Gotcha.
Yep.
It's like the flat.
Dude, they must
trailer.
save. Just think about how much like money like normal like towns spend on like fixing roads and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like just think how much money they save just because like they don't have like automobiles there.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing you really got to worry about is frost. But the frost pushes up, pushes up that brick or cobblestone.
Yeah, but you don't have like in the winter like you don't have to
Yeah.
like fuck the roads up with like a legit snow plow. You know what I mean?
They're just, yeah. I
Listen
imagine.
to this. This could
Big
be
old semis.
part of our trip too. There is 120 to 140 active geocaches hidden around Mackinac Island.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun.
I
You could
just
spend a whole fucking week out there looking for all them.
I just revived the our collective geocaching account. For those of listeners who don't know, geocaching is an app that it's like a digital treasure hunt, and I'll show you the map of Grand Rapids. I am the blue dot for the YouTubers.
I
I'm the
can't even
blue
see
dot.
that, dude.
It's very tough.
YouTube's fucked too. They can't see anything.
So the blue dot is me here, and these are all the geocaches. So essentially, you go out, you get these coordinates, you get hints. It'll be like, oh, this is a bar that is surrounded about a horse, and it's this is the One Trick Pony bar. And so you go there, and then it'll give you another hint, and then you get within a certain range, and you look for this thing that's hidden under a park bench or hidden under the cover of the base of a lamppost. And we had the Screaming Goats was the account that we functioned on as a group up in the UP. And I took that downstate and did geocaching at night, which in hindsight could have been a great social media adventure to geocache only at night and to film it. But
I did one up in Houghton. I don't know if you remember this. This was back with like the Joe Paul and like
Yep.
that crew. It would go up there.
Mhm.
Somebody put one on a bee's nest.
oh my
Oh.
god, was
And
I
I
with you for
fucking
that?
walked right into it.
We're like,
I can't remember who was with me.
Oh,
But it
that
was-
was I was
It
with you guys.
It was behind like an apartment complex.
Yeah, it was in the
And
woods.
I was looking for it.
I
And
forgot about that.
then I got stung. I was like, it's right here.
Yeah, I remember
And I
that.
got stung, and I was like, "Oh my fuck!" And I started running, and there's just a bunch of bees
you
chasing
said
me.
you said 130.
Fucking dick.
136.
120 to 140
Man,
active geocaches. That'd be fun, dude.
that'd be
Couple
Be a
cool.
lot of fun.
Couple of quick ones. The ferry ride is 16 minutes
Okay.
from the mainland,
That
and
ain't
then
bad.
there's 30. This is actually kind of sweet. There's 30 planes arriving at or departing from Mackinac Island Airport each day.
Interesting. That's the I saw another
Supplies.
stat that there was 500, which that may be they may
all the fudge
Fudge, yeah.
ingredients. That's what all that is.
Yeah.
this is
Oh, they're just using all those planes to haul like horse shit out.
Mackinac Island.org says that there is 500 full-time about 500 full-time residents. It may be more of a May-October destination, but it's also home to about 500 full-time residents. In the winter season, locals trade bikes for snowmobiles, and though it's a lot slower than the bustle of summer, there are a variety of things to do. In the off-season, Mackinac Island has a public school, Go Lakers, which
Oh, the
I don't know.
Lakers. Okay.
I don't know if that's like a Sault Ste. Marie nod or what. It says America's oldest family-owned grocery store, Dowd's Market, and a couple of Mackinac Island restaurants remain open year-round, and there are plenty of Mackinac Island events to keep busy. But
Yes.
if you've been to Traverse City in the winter, like I have, it's a lot of outdoor enthusiasts. But for the general tourist, unless you're looking to interface with the cold Michigan winter, there's not a lot to do. Shops are closed. And
Yeah, winter's
they
a
have
no-go.
they have big events, but it's just like winter in Michigan is a time to, like I said, if you really want to get out and get after it, you got to be prepared.
Speaking of restaurants, it says there's 24 restaurants with outdoor seating.
Damn, man, I could
Mackinac
bring my
Island.
dog there and just fucking eat everywhere.
We talked about the golf course, Washkamo golf course. It was built in 1898.
Shit.
And it's a 9-hole course, and it
Just
was
like
designed
Toronto.
by 2-time U.S. Open champion Alex Smith. It's pretty cool. And again, we talked about how that site where that Wawashkamo golf course was built, that's where the Battle of Mackinac was held. The oldest golf
Crazy.
course.
Is there a bunch of pictures of that golf course?
Not on the site that I have, but I'm sure that we could probably find it. I mean, it's got to be like super fucking nice, right?
Yeah, that's got to be a. Well, it's up on the hill. It's at one of the highest points because they wouldn't build a fort like low down along the shore like they did Fort Michilimackinac in Mackinac City.
Yeah, it looks
If they had high
Bro,
ground,
I think this
they're
is
gonna take it.
no. What? The video's unavailable. What do you mean?
You
That's
gotta go there
bullshit.
and find out what the fuck it looks
Damn.
like. That's what they're
Well,
telling you, man.
it said historic 9-hole, but now it looks like it's
Expanded it.
yeah, it's 18. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay, shout out to the YouTube. This might be a little lengthy, but I might just fast forward. Nine holes and 18 tees.
Oh, I wonder if they like have. What if they have double use greens? Yeah, hole 1 and 10. So there's a there's
okay.
a green next to every tee box.
Okay. That looked like a pretty straight shot. That looks like a pretty straight shot. I mean, to be honest, you don't really need to have a nice course when you can deem it like the oldest one in the U.S.
Yeah,
you know,
your destination matters more.
because it doesn't look like it's too difficult. Pretty wide open, pretty straight away.
Yeah. They probably don't have a lot of room to work with there.
Unless if you know, like their greens are like really
Yo,
tough.
this music is fucking whack. Mute this shit.
Yeah, so it doesn't look too nice, but again, it has a lot of history, so it'd be something to.
It's a destination course.
Yeah. Another quick one, Aaron, you kind of touched on it. There's 1,489 bikes for rent on Mackinac Island.
That's wild, dude.
1,500 bikes. I think Aaron just yeeted his internet. I had one that. Oh, so the Mackinac Island rock skipping champion, Kurt Steiner. How about this for a fucking fun fact? The Mackinac Island champion for rock skipping, again, Kurt Steiner, 88 times.
What?
Now, don't ask me how you actually can fucking count that.
They must have like
a
took
video
a video
or
of it
something.
and like watched it.
That's crazy. 88. I mean, I don't know. You know what? World record for rock skipping. I want to see what like the. Oh my god, dude! It's the world record. I thought it was just the champion. The world record for the number of skips, according to the Guinness Book of World Records, is Kurt Mountain Man Steiner.
Is there a video of this shit?
No, but this says the cast was achieved on September 6, 2013 at Red Bridge in the Allegheny National Forest in Pennsylvania. Uh-oh.
Damn. Sounds like
We got some cross.
someone's lying to you. Or maybe
Maybe he's from Mackinac
maybe
Island.
he won Mackinac.
Dude,
And
what
then,
the
like
fuck?
he holds the world record somewhere else. That's probably what happened. I don't know. I don't really give a fuck, to be honest. That's crazy though, dude. 80 fucking feet?
Oh, I think he goes there. Okay, he goes there. So it says some
Yeah.
of the world's best professional stone skippers come to Mackinac Island each 4th of July for their annual WT Rave Stone
Yeah.
skipping.
So it's probably part
tournament.
of like the rock skipping tour. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
Like
that's
the circuit, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
Professional
that's still pretty
circuit.
cool.
Yeah.
So if you want to go to a rock skipping competition,
Oh boy.
go and try to beat the world record. I thought maybe he did it at the island, but that's all right. Trying to think. There was another one that I had. Um, I'm losing it though. I'm losing it.
Did you know how many bikes they have for rent on the Mackinac?
Yeah, it was 1,489.
Holy shit.
1,489 bikes for rent. Another one here, I guess I did find it. Aaron touched on the 14 fudge shops, but the Grand Hotel, we were talking about that, of course. There's 390 rooms at the Grand Hotel, and it opened. Answers our question that we had earlier. It opened in 1887. That's fucking crazy. Here it is, the world's largest porch. It's 660 feet overlooking Lake Huron, and the hotel's beautiful gardens. No, no. So this makes a lot of sense. When I was looking at the picture, no two guest rooms are the same. So
That
all of
has to
them are
be so much
different.
work.
And we had the color, the pictures. Shout out to the YouTube. You saw some of the rooms. All of them were different colors and, different types of beds and setups, which makes me want to walk through every room to see the decor. There is an evening dress code, and non-guests are charged $10 just to visit the porch. It says it is definitely a pricey hotel, but it is a pretty one. That makes me wonder, now in 2022, how much it costs to stay at the Grand Hotel. And I have a feeling that they're not going to show you until you actually like click book today. All right, here we go. I got it.
$700.
Oh my fuck. Oh my God, Dylan.
What?
What did Aaron say? $300? Bro.
Is it
Oh
like
my
$1,000 a
gosh.
night?
The cheapest one that I am seeing is $1,007 a night.
A night
That's the
or a year?
Grand Superior Double. No, per night, including taxes and fees, which I'm sure those
Holy
are
fuck,
fucking a
dude.
lot. The most expensive one that I'm seeing right now is $3,007 for one fucking night.
I
And
wonder why the
it is
ferry tickets are only
it
$8.
is it is a sweet, the $3,000 one, but I mean, it can't be that nice, right? And that's why I talked about how it's really rich and yuppie, like,
I mean, I
you
can imagine like
got the dress
normal fucking
code.
people can't
Yeah,
afford,
no, that is so
a quarter of
expensive.
that. Like I wouldn't even I would be pissed if I had to pay $250 a night for a fucking hotel.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy, dude. Holy shit. And I'm sure there might be, some that might be like a package deal. You get so many ferry rides, or not ferry rides,
Maybe.
but horse carriage rides. And I know that we talked about um the Washkama golf course, but the Grand Hotel has a golf course as well. So maybe you get like, so many rounds or something, but still going at, $1,000 or $3,000 a night. That is insane. That is so much money.
Mm-hmm.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. That's I would just go there, get some fudge and walk
Yeah,
around, but
yeah, yeah. You
get back to the ferry.
you can
Definitely.
take to something that I've done. You can take, we talked about the bikes, of course. You can take a ride. They have a road and a trail that takes you through the entire island, so you can go all the way around it. And I do believe there was a stat or a fact. There's 3.8 wait, yeah, there's 3.8 square miles of land area on Mackinac Island. So that bike ride, you go all the way around the island. It's only going to be about less than 4 miles on the trip. But Aaron, you're back, which is great.
Mhm.
I just looked up prices at the Grand Hotel.
Oh God.
The cheapest one that I found was $1,000.
Shut up.
I
The
swear to God,
cheapest
the
for
cheapest.
like a 2-night or a 1 night?
One night. It's per night, and the most expensive was 3,000.
Oh my gosh.
But
I
like,
remember looking, maybe it was off season, and it was like three,
I can't even
400,
imagine that.
$300 or $400 a night. I was like, okay, yeah, it's a destination, it's exclusive, I get it, but not that bad. That's terrible.
$1,000 for the cheapest room that I could find.
Shit, can I rent a broom closet for like
I think I was telling Dylan
100?
there could be package deals with that because there's a golf course on the Grand Hotel is a golf course and shit. But I already said that. But
Yeah, maybe run like a Groupon or something.
that is insane. But you're talking about camping. That'd be so fun. That'd be a sick fucking video too.
And honestly, I feel like you take the ferry over, all your shit's hauled over 8 miles. Yeah, you're gonna have a tough run into a campsite.
Yeah, you'd have to
In
book
in
that
in,
shit like
in
now.
in whatever heat, but just like the actual physical work of getting your gear up to a campsite, it would suck for the first day, but once you're there, you're there.
Mm-hmm.
Then you just, maybe you trust that your campsite's not going to get ransacked by some meth head.
Yeah.
And then you go out to town and get all, greased up
Thing that
and then hike her back to the campsite.
kind
That'd be
of
fun. That'd be a good adventure.
that would be a lot
You
of
wouldn't
fun.
need to bring anything. Like there's stores and shit there, so it's like you literally just bring like your camping gear. Like
Now this is what I'm thinking. Can you
There-
bring like alcohol and stuff on there? You think?
I
That-
don't remember
Really
there
good
being like a
question.
heavy bag check the last time I went, which is maybe the most recent. I know Kipes went. I don't know if they checked his stuff, but getting on the ferry, that's just like, I think you just go. I don't think they. I don't think they check.
You don't even
anything.
check your ticket. You just hop on and
They check your ticket, but you just go, and then like there's no, to my knowledge, there's no Walmart. There's no there's
Right, right.
if you want to get groceries, it's like a tiny little general store. You're kind of expected to stay in a hotel and eat at a restaurant, during business hours, and then that's it. So we would probably have to bring some sort of, and actually your brother, Oliver, would probably, with some research, probably be able to, if we all did research, we could get out there and just camp it, and go rugged, and yeah, we'd be eating spam out of a can and ramen noodles and shit. But it would be fun, if we set aside some money to go out and get hammered and eat some local restaurant food. I think it'd be fun, and then hike back into the woods at night after a little bit of a buzz. I think that'd be a blast. It reminds me of that time, like, I don't remember, it was like 4th of July or Labor Day, and we rode.
wait, did we ever tell anyone what Labor Day was?
Okay, all right. But do you
Jesus
guys remember
Christ,
that
we're always
time
saying-
we rode literal like children's bikes from Tony's house in Ontonagon, Tony's folks' house, like back and forth in the campground?
yeah.
We were at like a campsite, and there was just like little just children's, but I don't even know whose they were. This is before Chris had kids. We just rode whatever bike we could find back after
Yep.
drinking. I imagine it would be a little bit of that on Mackinac Island.
That would be a lot of fun. We should
Little bit of a
honestly
free-for-all.
fucking plan this shit.
Even if we plan it, like, I don't even know when we could do
You
it.
just have to find a campground and like look at the rules. Like it really wouldn't be hard to figure it out.
Yeah, that would be wild though, just to get the guys out on a random adventure.
Mm-hmm. That'd be
And-
a lot of fun.
Dylan, it would be a flight to GR, and then you and I would ride up together. But we should plan something like a far out, year out or more
Mm-hmm.
adventure, just out.
Or we get as many people as we can to pitch in for a suite.
Yeah, just all stay in the.
That's the thing, though. When I was looking at the
$3,000
pictures, I
nights.
don't even know how big those rooms are, even the suites. They didn't look very big.
Couple air mattresses.
Fucking
in
crazy
the
how
old
expensive
duffel.
it is. But yeah, that's Mackinac Island. It's a cool place, and I will say that, when I was younger, we'd go every year, so it would kind of get, even as a little kid, it's sort of, to me, it's really a one and done, or a one in every couple years you go.
Yeah.
But going every year, and make, I could be speaking, I don't know, there could be people listening to this right now that go every year and enjoy themselves, and I'm sure you could, but my personal opinion, all the cool things that we talked about, it really is just fudge,
You could do it in a day.
horse shit, and yeah, you definitely can do it in a day.
It's
You know,
a
4,
one
5,
day.
6 hours, head to the island, maybe bike around the cocksucker, and then eat at a restaurant. But it's really, I don't know. I feel like all the history is being lost with all the shitty t-shirt shops and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But if you actually went and did interesting things, like maybe you go and golf that golf course and
Hit the
go on some
Arch Rock.
hikes. Yeah, Arch Rock, go on some hikes, take a carriage somewhere. But it's definitely a, 1 every 5 year thing for me, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Well, I think if honestly, if we dreamed up a trip between the four of us, Chris isn't here right now, but if we dreamed up a trip of the four of us, kids or not, went and spent the day there, took the ferry back, stayed in some, dog shit hotel on the mainland, I think we'd cover it all in a day.
Yes, you definitely can.
And it would be anything more than a day is like, okay, you're just shelling out. You're shelling out money for an experience that you can encapsulate in a day.
All right, so we have,
All right.
let's see, we have
Oh, here we go.
the board
I know
is
where
set
this is going.
for Redneck Kino.
I'm going. I'm going 22.
22? Okay.
Yep. I'm writing it down too. Go ahead, rattle them off.
All right. I'm going to go 6.
Okay. Dylan?
47.
47. All right.
Fuck, that was a guess last game.
Little shout out to, we didn't do voicemails again today. Kind of lagged there in that department, but we do have a number. So it will be in the description of the episode. Call us. You can literally call us for anything. Episode ideas, something maybe you want us to talk about. You can roast us, like Aaron said. But just
I'm waiting
something,
for a
something
good
fun.
roast.
It's just, more content that we can put out there. And of course, the listener engagement that we want. Follow us on Twitter, FAIF Hour. And of course, subscribe to the YouTube. I got to say, our episodes are really turning into the best experience is going to be YouTube. Because we do show a lot.
For sure.
A lot of visuals. All right, here we go. 57, 54, 29. That is 3.
Why aren't you showing the screen?
23. Oh my gosh. 52. I'm selling. I just missed all of these. 64, 11,
47.
50, 40, 27, 71. Aaron, what did you have again?
22.
14, 45.
Oh.
Okay, it's getting pretty close. 25, 78. We have 9. Not 6 though. 26.
It's going to be one of the last ones.
18. Oh no. 58. Oh,
push.
58 was the last one. Good push, yeah. So
God damn.
We also have to set the stakes before. I think the stakes have been like sending a care package from wherever. Well, my stake was sending a care package from.
it was meant to
GR.
be. No one won. All right, thanks for listening. This was episode
48.
48.
Confirmed 48.
We're getting close
Number
to 50.
48, for real?
We're getting close to
Yep.
50, boys.
50's
shit.
50's awesome, but I feel like 51 is going to be sick. Area 51.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I can't
All
wait
right.
for that one.
All right.
We have to tee that up. and
All
then
right.
We have to follow through on it though.
All right. I heard it.
I wish I didn't.
All right, episode
Yeah.
48.
Thanks for listening. Have a good night. Or day. Or morning.
Finest hour.
Thanks for listening to Failure at its Finest. Thanks for listening to failure at its finest hour.
God damn it, Aaron. You're fucking
Go ahead.
delayed, dude. It's pissing me
Just
off.
restart the whole thing.
It's pissing
Just
me
restart
off.
the whole thing.
You're not talking, so I go to talk.
Thanks for listening to failure at its finest hour.
You got a tonsil stone, dude?
Dude, don't. He's not talking about this.
I ain't talking about it, dude. We ain't going to the
Fucking
stones.
Chris.
We ain't getting stoned tonight.
Thanks for listening to failure at its finest hour.
Oh man, when you're 8 beers in and someone pulls out pickled eggs.
Yeah, forget it, dude. minimum a 6-pack of eggs.
Thanks for listening to failure at its finest hour.
Cousin subs, which is so good. Which I don't know if they were started.
Out of you and Trout Creek.
Thanks for listening to failure at its finest hour. Thanks for listening, you beautiful son of a